Hello everybody and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today I'm looking at something that is not my style at all. This is the Invoke Despair Arcane Bombardment combo. Not combo, but just, I don't know, framework, let's call it. So the idea here is we're running Arcane Bombardment. So for those who don't know, this is a 6 costing enchantment. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, exile an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard. Important that it's at random. Then copy each card exiled with Arcane Bombardment. You may cast any number of copies without paying their mana cost. So in other words, if I have one spell in my graveyard and I have Arcane Bombardment down and I cast a instant or sorcery, even in the opponent's turn, I'll be able to cast that thing from my graveyard for free. This is then a stacking ability. So each time I cast one, it's going to exile one more once per turn that lets me basically snowball. So the idea here is that we get Invoke Despair in our graveyard, preferably by casting it, but we can discard with Fable. And then we, basically cast our cheaper spell, which allows us to keep casting Invoke Despair lots of times. The rest of the deck is to sort of help us do that. So what we are running are 4 Prosper Tomebound. Prosper is a 4 costing 1/4 Tiefling Warlock, unfortunately legendary, has Death Touch, which is kind of relevant with a 4 toughness creature. It means like 3/3s can't really attack into you, for example. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. So, basically, it's going to kind of, after the first turn you put it down, draw us an extra card each turn, which is pretty strong. But the sort of benefit of this as well is this Pact Boon ability, which is whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. So, if we, for example, on turn 4 play Prosper, we exile a land off the top of our deck, I then play that land, I will then have 6 mana next turn, so I could Arcane Bombardment. It's also going to help me cast Invoke Despair, because treasures and dual colours and Invoke Despair decks, etc. I'm then running 4 Graveyard Trespassers. This is just a brilliant card, but B has a slight synergy in this deck, in that if we get Arcane Bombardment down, I can exile other instants and sorceries from my own graveyard that I don't want to trigger Arcane Bombardment. So because it's a random card in my graveyard, if I've got an Invoke Despair and a Mind Spike, for example, and I play my Trespasser, I can exile the Mind Spike, knowing that then when I play my instant or sorcery, I will get Invoke Despair. So it can help us select the cards we want in our graveyard for Arcane Bombardment. Fable is what it is. We all know what this is. It helps us discard some instants and sorceries. It helps filter to get the mana to play these bigger things, and it just gives them stuff to deal with. 4 Molten Impact. This card is just brilliant removal. We need instants and sorceries. The 2 Abrades I switch in halfway through the video. They used to be what was this in this slot? Something less useful than a braid. I can come back to you'll see what I swap out in the video, but I basically realised that what we need the painful bonds, but what we needed was a bit more removal and a bit more interaction at instant speed. 2 Undercity Plunders and 2 Life of Toshiro Umezawa. This is only there because I don't want loads of cheap instants and sorceries clogging up my graveyard for Arcane Bombardment, but what I do want is the ability to gain life and remove small things for mono red, so that's why this has made the deck. Also, it has got its nice sort of synergy with Invoke Despair. We're running 2 Baleful Masteries, which is a card you don't see that often, because obviously if I play this for its student cost at 2 in an emergency, obviously given the opponent a card, but I exile something, I can then play it back for its full cost from Arcane Bombardment in the graveyard repeatedly, so it's actually pretty nice with Arcane Bombardment. 2 Seismic Waves, because these are to deal with our opponent's small creatures, so when we're playing against things like the life gain decks, these are there to clear out all the like Lunarch Aspirants and Prosperous Innkeepers. But I also want it because it's a card that is useful from the graveyard at all times, so because it does 2 damage to any target. If I was running, for example, Malicious Malfunction, which is this one, then it would only be good if the opponent is playing a creature deck. This card, however, is good regardless, so that's why I'm running that, and also it's only 1 red, so I can make it work in an Invoke Despair deck. When 1 Mauling just to get our land total up, but also having a Destroy that we can replay from the graveyard is also nice. Okay, that is our deck. Oh, sorry, I should have mentioned Mind Spike. The reason we're playing Mind Spike over any of the other discard spells in this slot is because even if it misses, we draw a card. So if we end up exiling this Arcane Bombardment and our opponent has an empty hand or has no non-creature spells, then we still get benefit from it. So all the cards, ideally, we have some benefit from. A Braid obviously could miss. If they've got no artifacts and no creatures, and we have Arcane Bombardment down, we're probably winning anyway. Undercity Plunder obviously generates us copies of cards from their deck if they've got no cards. So everything here is doing something. Molten Impact less so, but it does target creatures and planeswalkers. So similar to Mind Spike, if this is whiffing, we're probably winning anyway. That is the deck. I'm going to have a few games now and see how we get on. Okay, here we go. Ice Moon. Looks like a good first challenger. This is a nice hand. Don't quite really want the Bombardment in this turn, but I can't complain. So I'll need to put this on red if I want to play Molten Impacts on turn 2. Don't like putting lands on red because of the Invoke Despair need for black, but I think we can afford one on red as long as we don't top our one mountain. Pretty sure I'm only running one mountain. Yeah. That's nice. We can bond. And then into Fable. Seismic Wave could be helpful against the life gain deck. Doesn't look like it's strictly a life gain deck if they're running an issue. But we've got impact. Multiple of them. I think we'll just let that be. Probably get this high because we've already got one. And maybe that. They've got no one toughness creatures. It's not our best matchup for that card. Obviously we have to go on black. So we'll have 2 spare, which we can use on this initiate to make this one be 3 spare. And we can get in, see what else the opponent's got. More life gain lands. Another Ambergris, that's okay. I think we'll Invoke Despair this turn. Yeah. Could pop off, but this will kill the creature, and then we'll get 3 triggers on the draw. Pretty nice. So next turn, so we've got 7, we can get 8, as long as they don't kill that. Can't quite do both of these. There we go. So if I play this, attack with this. We can do like that. We're likely to get a Molten Impact, I suppose, which we'll cast here to save our dude. Now we've got a Molten Impact under there. Well, Chihira can get rid of the Arcane Bombardment. It's a good job we got another one. And a good job we didn't take our Invoke Despair. I mean, in fairness. If we do this, we've got 1 damage in the bank that we can use there. Can then get him for 4, create 2 treasures, which can actually play off if we get into any real trouble. I don't see it happening. That's actually relatively annoying because it gives them a blocker and in theory could put us, if they've got something to discard with that, that would present lethal, so we'd have to bounce it. They didn't. I think we let that connect. Okay, so I think we've Bombardment and then Mastery the Jaheira. And then we win. GG. Close one in the end, but felt in control. I just didn't realise how low my life total was getting. Okay, we'll go again. Okay, next one. This looks quite nice as well. I mean, it's just a bunch of removal at the moment, but see what we're working with. That's interesting, isn't it? So Syndiclasm doesn't bother us. Molten Impact can be annoying, but I think this is probably their key to doing anything particularly nasty, so we'll get rid of that. Get back on the life gain train. See if they want to play anything with 1 toughness. Okay, is it? We'll pass. Obviously we need to draw Trespassers or Invoke Despairs or Bombardments, but we're not in a rush. I've got a man land that we can start using if nothing else. Can't Molten Impact it, can't kill it with Syndiclasm. Obviously, who knows what else they have by now, but probably Molten Impact the memory if I was them. But no. Just have to be a bit of an attritional game if they're going to sit behind 4 mana. Not that we would be doing much, we've just got a handful of removal. Big score. Okay. I wonder if this is a Bombardment deck. What would the odds be? I literally haven't seen one in weeks. But it does feel like it. Not much else runs big score, does it? Which could make our hive very, very powerful. I think we just try putting the Bombardment down, don't we? They could counter, but if they are a Bombardment deck, they wouldn't be running counters. Then maybe they aren't. I mean, I suppose maybe you're not if you're running Calamity because it exiles stuff out of the graveyard as well. But maybe they're choosing it as, I don't know. I don't know. Probably just a misplay. Well, managed to get the Fable down. That is something. I'm going to throw away some of these cards that aren't useful to me. Seismic Wave, Molten Impact. They can kick the Syndiclasm, obviously. But that's just 1 for 1 at the moment, and I've still got this. So I'll probably throw both of those, or maybe these. Maybe these. These can go face. Okay, I'm assuming there's more counters, so we'll just try running out a Trespasser. Get rid of the big score in case it is a Bombardment deck. It's one of the nicer cards they can get under it. Trespasser's so nice against it just feels good to play it against this matchup because you know that their spell removal focus is not going to be creatures blocking this. So this is at least a 2 for 1. and if we're removing stuff from their graveyard as well. Path. Oh my god. Okay, I did not see that coming. Maybe this is signature spells, because they're not cast. I mean, obviously they've got treasures, but maybe a signature spells deck. Invoke Despair could be very handy if they are some kind of big enchantment related deck. It's the only thing we've got to counter enchantments. Oh, they have quite a few cards off of us there. 14 for a total of 20 mana cost. Signature spells then. There's another 3 costing one that you like to hit under that. So not tons of extra value removing stuff from their graveyard. Do not need that, almost certainly. I think we'll just use this. Just need damage at the moment. I'm going to hold the Invoke Despair for when they play an enchantment. If they play an enchantment. Okay, so maybe Path of Peril gets rid of the Hive and Ashes, or not sure. Molten Impact, okay. So then they can cast a 4 costing spell, big score, or just Cinderclasm for the reflection. Well, we'll definitely be removing this, as it feels like a win condition for them. Just attack, I think, first. Something else has to be discarded, yeah. Okay, I think we're forced into using this now. They are down to 2 and we've got 2 to pay, so could be okay. Okay, that's a good sign. Definitely signature spells, which they haven't drawn in the top 21. Don't know how many they're running. Okay, got an answer for that. Yeah, I think we'll just hold the Invoke Despair then and do this in their turn. Obviously we take 3 from the death triggers, but that's fine. Better off drawing more cards with Invoke Despair at this point. I mean, with quite a few cards in, we've not got our bombardment, but that's pretty nice. And a crossbow will probably help us draw through to what we need. So, yeah, they didn't hit any bombardments there, and there's 1 in our graveyard, so there's 3 in the last 23. Well, they'll have just hit a couple there, maybe, because we didn't mill very many. Hit 1. We didn't need any more Balefulls. I definitely want to find this. Oh, there's the bombardment. I hope they can't get through 14 cards without that. If they've got any more Tashas. There's only 2 gone. Destroy all creatures. Okay. Tempted to impact my memory, but we've got one instant that we can get this started with. Maybe we'll get the other seismic wave. Mind Spike pretty nice here. What? Not an enchantment? Oof, that was quite rogue. Seismic wave the opponent, and that should be it. Good, got to see Bombardment actually finish a game for us there. And it kept us alive being so expensive against Tashas at the end, I think. So, yeah, pretty decent game. Fun one. We'll go again. Okay, ready. Fight. Stefano and T-Chai. Some more sort of high mythic percentage players. Yeah, I like this one because we've got the bond if we don't hit our third land drop anyway. Fable into Bombardment can be pretty sweet. Not that we've got loads of spells, but these two, just a decent package of cards really. Depends what the opponent's running, obviously. This is a bit weak against, I was going to say mono red, but not impossible. The bond is a little bit painful, but maybe I won't cast the bond. It can cost me 2 life. I'm already on a lot of cards. Can hold it as an instant for Arcane Bombardment. That's what it's really there for anyway. I won't be surprised to see the Goblin Shaman removed after they didn't play a creature into Kakazan. Yeah. Invoke Despair is very nice against this though, for getting rid of all their creatures, like if they play an Ambergris now. God, scary sometimes. No creatures in here. So we'll definitely discard that, and I think we'll discard this bond. Put the other red now, so I've got a choice of doing both of these, which costs me life. Or I can Prosper, which draws and forces them to remove it, but we're then taking at least 5, but they will remove this. Could do this and this, but there's no creatures. At least we'll do this first with this put a creature in our own graveyard. Potentially gain us 1 life back, could mean something. Yeah, the one card we can't play in our deck. That's what we've managed to exile off the top. But we have got another one. Often against mono red you don't actually get to the point of playing this, you either win or lose before that point, but we'll see, we'll see. It's nice if you can get the Shaman to stick for 1 turn, but obviously against red that's very unlikely with all the burn they've got these days. Yeah, we did say that would happen, and not only that, I guess because of the etching it isn't in the graveyard, that's a bit of a obvious mistake. 7, that's half my life. Not looking good. We would need like a Molten Impact ourselves. Ooh, Traumatic Pranking. That's quite good for us. So that is a creature to block with. There's no creatures in here, and there's no creatures in here, so this does not gain us anything. I could play Mauling, obviously, but you know, all it would take is a shock and an Ambergris and we're dead if we do that on this. Could play, I mean Mind Spike is too painful at the moment. This gives me a blocker against 2 creatures and this can block the other one. The thing about Mind Spike is, I think we'll remove this in case they've got a, we're going to play this as a land. The thing about this is, it could be genius and it could be awful. Pretty awful. But now we know that they didn't have removal out of 2 of those cards. So at the moment 4 getting through. This looks pretty fatal, doesn't it? And they're going to have 4 mana to do 1 damage. I'm expecting my face to be shocked. Or play with fire, more likely, but... Put me out of my misery, come on. Oh. What's happened here? I have internet. My internet just had a blip. Okay. Well, I can't mind Spike. No, we came back to being dead anyway. Unless I top, we don't have a shock in the hand. We don't have shocks. GG. Oh well, that's a bit of an anticlimax with the disconnect, but yeah. Just about got beat by red. I mean, what thing is, if we can turn it, the 20 life won't matter, but couldn't keep their creatures under control. We lose about 200 places for the joy. Okay, let's see if we can do a bit better. I mean, I'd quite like to try mono red again, just because we never drew any of our removal that game. There was no impacts and there was no baleful masteries, so you're always going to struggle if you don't draw removal. Got 1 this time, and it's like mono green. Carrot acid, what is going on here? At least that leaves us with 3 damage in the bank. Definitely not letting them ramp with that. Got 2 Prospers, not quite what I want. Red Fable. This Bond is a 3 damage burn, which is pretty nice. Oh. They must have run out of land, or not sure. Let's go again. So I just had someone join the game against me and then time out from turn 1, so got a free win. So that's why my rank will be a little bit higher than when I finished last game. Not because I'm doing anything sneaky. We're at 1028 now, which is hidden by my head, but you'll see it. There you go. It's got no removal, but we have got 2 bonds, so... Black, please. That could be good. Depends what we're playing against, but I think that's probably good. Blue. Ooh. Now we do need the removal. Playing both these bonds could get painful, but yeah. Oh my god. Straight into the aberration. Now they can make disappear my bond if they want. Let's do this before in their turn, so give them something to think about. See if they want to counter that. Kinda want them to, because we don't want that to make disappear in their hand for next turn. Good. But flipping Delver this early is bad news for us. In case there's any way of them getting these back, we'll get rid of these. Uh-oh. This is looking pretty painful. We need some removal. Let's see what we got on top. Impact. That is pretty good. Please allow me to survive for that long. See if we can get them to discard a creature that we can then exile Trespasser for a life. That impact Ooh. God, if they're throwing away Play with Fire, we're really fucked. That's basically the, like, Play with Fire to face is 4 to face with the Mystic in play. Big score. Well, that wasn't. What? Big score in a Wizard's deck? It's supposed to be cheap. Oh dear, oh dear. This is looking very bad, isn't it? So we can then exile that Mystic to gain 1 life back. Because 1 spell that isn't a burn to face means 6 damage. I mean, we're still pretty dead. Okay, just to get the trigger on Mystic. That does 6 damage, as I said. We don't want to use the bond because, well, 1 damage. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do with that anyway. Guess we have to use it. We find absolutely nothing. So I can gain 2 life. With this, 3. Even if I've managed to gain 1 with this, I'm still not doing anything helpful, am I? GG. Beaten down by Wizards. Just didn't get the removal again, but I guess that's the way that this deck is going to crumble sometimes. Maybe we need a little more removal. Let's have a look. Okay, so looking at the deck, obviously we've got 4, 4, so we've got 2 of these, 2 of these, 4 of these. I mean, there's not a load more removal I can put. I think the bonds are potentially bad just because we don't actually often need the draw, and the damage to us is actually relevant in this meta. I'm thinking a Braid, because we want something instant, because we don't have loads of instants, and we want to be able to trigger Bombardment in their turn. We want something that's useful all the time, so this is also potentially better. But a Braid, I mean, artifacts are a bit of a thing, like if there's anvils, or if there's, more importantly, like key to the archives. Electrostatic Blast is a possibility, sort of draw, sort of removal. Don't really want to pass the torch, no. I don't want it to be too expensive. Destroy artifact and exile top 3. I mean, it sort of has some synergy with Prosper, but no. Okay, we're going to a Braids, instant speed removal. Okay, let's see if that makes any difference to our early game matchups against some of these fast decks. Yeah, we've kind of got the opposite here, where we've got loads of red burn stuff and no black, but we've got our 1 mountain in our opening hand. But we're against red, so this could be good, I suppose, in a weird way. Probably mono red. Oh no, Jund. Okay, is it going to be the Jund combo? No, I have no idea what this is then. But we'll get our Fable down while we can. Obviously they can remove our Shaman token, but I think it's still pretty good. We forced them to do it. Just because they can remove something doesn't make it bad for us. Let me move up here. There maybe, I don't know. Yep, removed. So this is probably Anvil, so Seismic Wave becomes less useful, and 1 Bombardment's less useful. Okay. Didn't manage to get any land. I should have Mind Spiked first. Now I don't want to do it because I'll be wasting this damage, so we'll just pass. That was a bit stupid. Whenever I see one black, I get very nervous at playing the black things first, which is very odd, I know, but... Ooh, actually just using their blood. Craving of a year. Okay. Time probably to have a look, or don't know, we probably plunder, don't we? Yeah. They can sack that with the anvil, but at least they're not getting another replacement token for it, and they're out of other artifacts. On land, on Ray, okay. Trespasser can target that craving if they don't use it this turn. It's an interesting deck. I've not actually seen anyone use this craving card yet. So we probably... get rid of this. So that becomes less useful to them, doesn't it? Okay. Hopefully they try and attach that to this, or... Hold on, do we want them to be able to? I guess it doesn't matter. We'll just do this. Oh, I kind of wanted that to resolve, yeah. That was a bit stupid. Hadn't really read that card properly. Okay, this is nice. Get the Trespasser in. And take a look at their card if we can. Okay, nothing of concern. Obviously they can discard it if it's a land now. Yeah, it probably was that land. So this has to attack each turn, right? Is that what this does? Yeah. Interesting. They're in for two more. Getting a bit dicey. Ooh, that's interesting. So that now doesn't add to toughness, adds 1 to power. So we'll be taking 4 with this, and this, yeah, okay. But that is if we block. Basically, I think we're dead. But I think that we have to see if the opponent can see the line. This is a bit weird. I actually added the braids for the anvil, and we just didn't actually get them. I don't know. I guess maybe this is still a line for them. Yeah, this is still a line. Just an alternate one that I didn't see. Because they can just attack. Although, you know, they've not actually got lethal. They can sack and do 1, but they could have attacked with everything. Okay. That's not particularly helpful. Or is this, to be honest? I can't play this exile card. Can I please play this now? I guess the Prosper actually loves instants a bit more as well because of the... You could then play it in their turn. Anyway, we're dead. GG. That was a bit of a painful one. But it was an interesting matchup. It's going to be one that we struggle with a little bit. It's just a slightly faster version of our deck. I have to think about how to beat that. Next one. I'm trying to think what the limiting factor of this deck is at the moment in the meta, and it is probably the fast decks. Fast decks beat us, basically, don't they? I'm going to use this land to try and find a land. I don't want it to fucking tap land, so do we? I think we have to take it. I think in this situation I normally bottom it and then regret it because I don't get any land next turn. At least, like, this way we're still there, we're just behind. Just want lands. Got some removal, so sec against this rubbish. Yeah, that's fine. I think we'll just hold open Seismic Wave. In case they've got another Luminarch Aspirant or, I don't know, some kind of life gain creature. Not want to take the damage, thank you. Yeah, it's a bit painful, but we can prosper, which is painful for them. We get 2 cards a turn. Hopefully we can remove this with Invoke Despair. Needs lots of things to fall into place. No, ooh, that is nice on that. Multiple Valkyries. I mean, it's sort of nice, but then this doesn't, you know. Get rid of that. This we can block if we have to. Okay, one we can actually play off the top. Still no land though. This card is so good. It makes me just want to play red decks. I don't understand how they could have such a good card. More of these. Okay, get in there now, get in there. Just need the bombardment, which we've got 1 exiled unfortunately because we couldn't play it. Just don't get to 27 life please, don't cause me that pain now. Got an absolute, you know, value saga suite going on out here. If they've got another creature, any creature, they'll get there. I'm going to create another Valkyrie. But we'll kill this older. And they can't play the Valkyrie this turn. Unless they got, I don't know what combat trick. Picking the Valkyrie up. Try and reduce their life total. We'll definitely discard the Prosper. I think we'll discard the Swamp as well since we've got a land this turn. Glad we did. Probably sack the Liberator. No. I find that extremely curious, to be honest. Teleportation circle. What is going on? I'm confused now. I thought I sort of understood what their deck was doing, like picking these up, playing it back down to trigger a life gain, creating more of them. I mean, there's literally hundreds of these Valkyries from circulation, but they're not actually utilising them in a way that gets their life back up. More? Jesus. Transforming both sagas. So we can do this, we'll get a treasure. Let's use a treasure. There's no point paying 1 life when we've got so much. Okay, we can remove one of these. We could actually remove the other as well. So this is when it enters the battlefield, so we can respond. Okay, I think we're going quite well. Drawing loads and got a very big board. I doubt they're running any board. Oh, they're a 104 card deck. I literally just noticed that. What? These players in Mythic, honestly, sometimes it's just rogue, absolute rogueness. Well, I can't really take a lot of solace that we managed to beat that, but we did manage to beat it. Sometimes I used to play these like massively big decks, and then I think it was fun, but it's just all it ends up being is frustrating that you can't ever draw what you want. Alright, we'll play this first, and then impact hopefully turn 2 or 3, and then we use the spike to use the rest of the damage. No, we've got the wave now. Might as well get a use out of this. Oh my god. Okay. Well. Black. No more Invoke Despairs. But I also don't like putting them on bottom, because you like to be able to draw them off of them. That's just annoying. I swear this was better when it wasn't opponent controls, so it could force you to shoot your own things. So then, but then in this case it would actually be useful. Although that was any target, we could zap that. I think we might be getting frostbitten with this, but at least it's a 2 for 1 and we gain 1 life back. Frostbite, discarding Frostbite maybe. Or a land, I suppose. Yeah. Discard. Yeah. What did they discard? Land. They didn't fancy blocking. I think we'll prosper this turn. Can't kill it with the Frostbite. And I think I'm alive, hopefully, for this turn. Just so we can try and draw lands. But I can Seismic Wave attack this. This 2 damage plus the 1 off Seismic Wave will kill the Bandit Lord. And now we can start getting some treasures and stuff. I'm not sure how good Goblins is as a version of Red at the moment. I mean, they've had quite an unfortunate start, I suppose, to the land, but destroy target artifact also. Maybe we'll just do this. Although then we... no. Are you sure? You poor creature. Done more damage to me than anything else, this bloody creature. Still got the Abrade, so I feel comfortable attacking now. Good, keep getting me all those lands off the top. Our opponent certainly had a lot of land. It's pretty decent against the den, isn't it? Throw away your Frostbite. we go. Let's bait them into powering up Den, shall we? It's a bit cruel, but we are cruel. Not really a bait when they've got no other choice, to be fair. Sorry. Time to concede. Chip away one at a time. Oh my god, more land. Got a lot of land. Guess we're quite far through the deck. More lands, they've had so much land. Ditched a whole load as well, and they're only on 44 cards. Sucks to be them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 4, 12. So this is 6 plus 5, 11. Cool, could do both. Oh, opponent's broken themselves. Looks like I've got a goblin sat on my head now. Good game. Alright. Felt sorry for the opponent there, but sometimes that happens to us. Good game. Okay, you know, it's that time of the video where we do play till lose, and as soon as I say this every single time, it is instant lose. So, play till lose now, boys and girls. Although, interestingly, I did post that YouTube did say 100% of my YouTube audience is male. So if I say boys, it's not because I'm being dismissive, it is because what? All creatures, okay. It'll be like a Naya deck then. It is because 100% apparently of my audience is male. Oh, look. Okay. Red. Well, that makes Molten Impact pretty good. I want to get the Fable down. You know, they could have a Cathar, but Skyclave Apparition can't remove this, so no Brutal Cathar means we get the treasure, which means we can, I know, only Invoke Despair every draw a land. But anyway, we get a treasure. We need our Seismic Wave to deal with these dweebs. No, none of that. That's probably all we don't want, isn't it? So we can't do anything else, so we'll just play this land. No more land, thank you. Take the treasure. So next turn we'll be on 5, 6, 7 potentially. Not quite Arcane Bombardment territory, but close. Okay, more Voice of the Blessed. It's what it is. Because we can get in for 4 damage with this. God, I need the Seismic Wave. It's in. They're in there somewhere. How many are we running? 3? 2. Uh-oh. Can't Invoke Despair my way through this many creatures. Okay, it's worth attacking with this, and then using that on there, I'd say, because we cannot deal, and now we've got back to a position that we can sort of handle. Yeah, I'd be happy to put this down next turn unless we're looking really threatened again. Oh my god. 3 in the top 13. You lucky bugger. Gonna make me struggle through this, eh? The problem is now we can die if I try just jamming Invoke Arcane Bombardment. Let's start by copying this. Attack him with both. See where we end up with that. No blocks. So I've only got 1 mana left over, but I think we have to get this ball rolling, don't we? Oh. Could end up getting absolutely smashed here. So we're taking at least 9. Every creature they play is 3 more. 12, 15 for 2 creatures. But if one of those creatures gains life, so it's just 2 creatures, one of which gains life, and we're dead. Kind of risky. Here it goes, just got to pick one that gains life. I mean, yeah. Don't know if they work that out, but... Oh, they didn't get a trigger off of both of these. Oh. One thing they can take with that. So 16, yeah. Play to lose. There we go. And we lost. That was unlucky. I mean, all those voices are blessed. I don't know what I can do against that. GG. Okay, just a quick look at our stats on untapped.gg. So I have played a good 44 games with this deck now, and I've achieved a 64% win rate. I'm not sure how this can possibly add up to this, doesn't make any sense. Just to have a look at how we are doing. Mono red, yeah, pretty good matchup. Got quite a lot of tech in there for mono red, so not surprising that we're winning that, and we are playing against him far more than anything else. So that is why, you know, the deck is going to do well. Other Rakdos decks in general pretty good for similar reasons. Higher life gain in general pretty good. I know you didn't see that in the video, but actually it's normally a pretty good matchup. As I said, the Seismic Wave is very good at clearing out their life gain creatures. We are running a ton of removal for their big stuff, so actually normally does quite well against it. We only lost really because of the draw of 3 of those 3 of those things and none of our Seismic Waves. The hard matchup, and this is a genuinely hard matchup, is Esper, because if they get a Diviner down and get a whole load of card advantage, manage to dump a load of creatures onto the board, our Invoke Despairs, they're not clearing those creatures out. The creatures are too big to be cleared out by Seismic Wave. We can chew through some with Molten Impacts and things, but actually that is a pretty difficult matchup, and only if the Arcane Bombardment gets rolled in are we going to win that one, which can be hard to get to that point against Esper. So I would expect that to always be a difficult matchup for this deck. Otherwise, it's a fairly even spread of stuff. So the reason that I would say we're winning this much is due to mono red and other sort of varieties of creature decks, and then against other stuff, including Esper and the slightly more controlling matchups, we're going to struggle. So is it a good deck? I would say it's quite good. It's definitely good fun. And obviously 64% win rate in Mythic isn't to be sniffed at, but is it going to really climb the ladder for you once you're at Mythic? Not really. I do think that the deck can be improved. I mean, I've just sort of thrown this one together relatively quickly, so I would be keen to know if anyone's got any ideas on how I can actually get this win rate up a little bit. To do that, we could either make it more consistent against these creature decks or try and have a chance against Esper. I'm not sure how to get the win rate up based on the meta at the moment, so any feedback would be appreciated, but otherwise I hope you had a good time watching. It's unusual for me to play this kind of deck really, and not just a complete creature deck, but yeah, if you did like it, please please leave me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much and see you next time.